They can't replicate
continuously.
perfectly. Yes.
They can't replicate anymore properly.
Yeah.
Hmm
I am now curious why that happens, is the thing.
Well, I mean, cells decay naturally.
But is that necessarily true, or is that a feature of just some species? Like, as far as I'm aware, lobsters have the infinite capacity to live, they just tend to die while creating new shells.
Hmm
Right. One
It's a
pig.
question to ask.
It's a curious thing because, like, we live longer than cats, so why do they live shorter?
One pig captured at last. So where's that lead you're talking about?
Well, because their
Right,
cells are made up differently. Like
right.
it's the same cell, but
Well, maybe they should try harder.
the genetic code in the cells are different.
But like,
The cells have genetic codes,
my question
which is the
it
DNA and
all
RNA.
okay? Okay, I
That is
know.
actually
But
something we
can I
talked about
finish
today.
asking my question?
Yeah.
The question is, God, you threw me off by talking in the middle of me trying to say
There's a
it.
fucking zombie in the house, you assholes! Don't fucking leave the doors open.
Is there an evolutionary benefit in dying earlier?
Motivation for breeding?
Well, there's no requirement for motivation to breed. That's just a thing that can be hardwired into a brain, so you don't need any more than that.
Sustaining population versus resource management?
Could make evolution go by faster in a species since, they are born faster, they also can die faster, which means if there is a
Those two things aren't required to go together. Things can live for a long time without being born faster. I mean, like,
well, no, yeah, but I guess what I'm saying evolution wise though, because they die faster, if there is something a trait in there that they do not want, it
have the
can die
lead.
out faster, while if there's a trait that is beneficial to the species, it can be gained faster in population.
Yeah, I literally grabbed
If
the
that
leaf
makes
from
sense.
the chest. It was fine.
Oh, well then can you give me mine back?
It's back in the chest.
Oh, well, I just threw it at you because I had one in my house. Alright.
Did that explanation make sense from at least that's how I can see it from a biological standpoint of why a
I mean,
species dying faster can be beneficial.
the thing is, like, death by old age, like, cell deposition, that doesn't actually affect the continued survival of. Well, maybe it does, because they could use up more resources by existing.
Sorry,
But
cell
other than that, they don't
deposition.
actually affect the evolution of the group as a whole, because more will continue to be born regardless of whether there are still old ones around.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is that more are born, and in order to engage in evolution, that things don't die before they're able to breed. After they've bred, their existence is basically just a neutral point for the most part.
Unless you're a creature that dies after you breed, and then you're just dead.
But I mean, yeah. But my point is that from the perspective of evolution, the moment that you've fucked something and it's produced children, you no longer exist unless you do it again.
Unless you do it again. And that's the purpose, is so that they can keep doing it.
I grabbed a bunch of nether blocks and stuff. I have no
I'm-
idea.
Nice
Yeah.
speedwagon.
I can only feel that the greatest benefit of it is not taking up more resources unnecessarily, and even then, I think it may well be the case that the reason why different things have different lifespans is as simple as, well, it hasn't caused them issues, so it stays.
I'm sure there's a reason through that evolutionary evolving that there's a reason for their certain lifespans are set.
Well, and with cats and dogs, they age faster than humans do, so therefore their cells are replicating in a sense fast ours are.
It's not always the case, but typically the larger the animal, the longer it's going to live for. Well, the less populated an animal, the longer it's going to live for. That's the typical rule.
You mean, okay, I guess the fewer children, would that be the best way to put it? The fewer normal offspring.
Sure. It's like whales, they don't have many children, but they're going to live for a very long time. Whereas,
Well, part of that's just their size.
yeah, maybe it's size.
Yeah.
That's one of the factors as well. But yeah.
It can be a
Size
bit
can be a
size
factor.
can be very random because obviously you've got tortoises and turtles just hanging out there being like, nah, fuck that.
Well, turtles are kind of still like dinosaurs, so
Yeah, but the
they've been
point is
around
that
forever.
making a general rule. You have to point
No,
out
yeah.
when there is a thing that disagrees with that rule, and
Yeah,
therefore
well,
it's
there can
no
be
longer
general
a
rules
rule.
and, of course, exceptions to those rules.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes it the difference between an actual. It's not a prop. It depends on
It's
what
a
you think of as a
generalization.
as a definition of a rule or not. I guess.
Well, I mean, even in my biology class, we kind of talked about, the size of the animal in comparison to, um, population,
Naked
or not
mole rats
population, but it
live like a
breeding. And
surprisingly
most
long
animals
time as
that are
well.
smaller will breed faster because they're smaller. And, it's a quality over quantity kind of thing. While bigger animals have a more quality of offspring, smaller animals will have a more quantity.
Again, my brain goes to resource management in terms of why that's a good idea. Because with small animals, there's not going to be that much competition between all of the things you just birthed, beyond just survive. Because there's plenty of resources for them. They're basically never going to run out until winter comes. Whereas for an animal like a human, say, if we birthed 1,000,000 children, they'd immediately locust a massive section of the world in seconds, and then they'd all just starve
Children.
because they're too big.
Yeah.
They require more sustenance to exist. Horses get kind of lucky in that sense because they can eat grass and vegetables to sort of bulk them up.
I thought, yeah, horses are pretty short-lived. I don't know why you'd say they're low. Don't they die?
Is that no. We were going to largeness versus a number of children now.
Oh, right. Okay.
The length of life no longer relevant.
Okay. I
Horses are, I think 30 years is about their maximum. I think.
Depends, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the
It probably
age
does depend on the
of a
breed,
horse.
but I've heard that as an average before.
Mm. Well, and that also might have to do with the aging as well. Might have to do with the quality and the quantity. If they live longer, they don't have to breed as often. While if they don't live very long, they gotta fuck.
I'll be honest. I'm not sure what you mean by they don't have to breed as often. Like, where is the have to coming from?
In a sense of the just biological.
Oh,
sense.
you mean that they have more time in which to breed, and therefore they don't
Yes.
have to immediately. It's
Yes.
not that they have. Yeah.
If they want to fucking breed a fuck ton, that's their own prerogative, but they don't have to. You know those people who have like 7 kids.
Yeah, we call them Catholic.
Every sperm is.
Every sperm is great. Every sperm is wasted. God gets quite irate.
Oh yeah.
Just remember the analogy I gave you guys that one day.
Which analogy? You'll have to.
If there,
Remind
you might not have been here, but it's like, say you work at a sperm bank for some reason, and
Because
And
I
there's a-
love the taste. All right, that's just how it is.
and you go. Oh, the iron golems are attacking the zombies. Oh, and the Enderman.
Oh, are you at the place?
I'm at the village still because I couldn't capture one before nighttime.
But
But
we can all go
either
to
way.
bed. Can't we?
Yeah, I was going to suggest that after I fed the cows, which I did manage to do. So.
Let me get to the basement of my castle.
But
Go into one of the village's houses and sleep.
I am. I've just been chilling in one of their houses this whole time.
You're not rest now. Monster nearby. I'll just move my belt to the ceiling.
But
Then I can go look for a second pig.
so you work at a sperm bank or fertility clinic, whatever you want to call it, and it catches on fire, and you're in a room, and there is like 1,000 embryos in the tubes and whatnot. And then there's a
it's just-
5-year-old. Who do
Aw.
you save? Rim would probably say
That's-
neither, but
Wait, hold on. So is the option to say what? I'm
you
sorry.
can only save one. You can't save both.
Right.
No, but is the one 1,000? You said
yeah, the
embryos.
one is those
So you
1,000
don't
embryos.
mean do you mean
Or not
fertilized
embryos, but-
embryos?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't, because you said
Oh.
sperm bank. So I'm not get. I don't know what you meant when you said
Oh,
embryo.
I guess like fertilized embryo. I said fertility clinic after I meant the fertilized.
Start
fertilized
over.
embryos. I fucked it up.
Start over.
Okay, so you mean a bunch of fertilized embryos for in vitro fertilization? They're not just gametes. They have the full set of chromosomes. They will eventually
Basically,
grow
test
into a
tube
person.
babies.
They will grow into a person if put inside a womb, right?
Yes,
How many of them?
there's 1,000.
Okay, versus 1 5-year-old.
1 5-year-old.
By the principle of do no harm, I have to save the 5-year-old.
Yeah. I would've done
Exactly.
that.
Everybody says save the 5-year-old because that's an actual growing child right now.
It
Yeah.
is able to process being murdered, whereas a bunch of embryos cannot.
Yeah.
In fact, if it was a 2-year-old child, I may have saved the embryos instead because I really don't respect the life of a 2-year-old. They can't comprehend very much yet.
This is
Hello,
why
base
this
department?
is why I said Rim would just be like, "Can I not save any of them?"
But 5-year-old is enough that you can sort of have like a little bit of, they have almost a theory of mind, they understand object permanence.
So
I'll
you'd
give a
be-
5-year-old that they have more of a right to live than embryos.
So you would like not really be that concerned about saving a baby in general?
I mean, I would be in the social sense of what would happen to me if I didn't, but
Yeah.
I honestly don't give a fuck.
Okay.
He cares morally, but not in the sense of morality that he wants to save the child. It's that
Here
would
is
look
the
bad on
thing.
me.
I feel, on a principle, if you have the option between saving a baby and not, then you should.
So like an
I
old
might
man
not, but
versus
I
a
am
baby.
I am describing a principle, not how I actually feel.
Okay, so you would save like an 8-year-old over a 2-year-old or 1-year-old.
If you put me in that situation where I had to choose, I would save the slightly older child. Yes.
Okay. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna do that, but it's
I
not
am.
right.
You suck.
You
I'm
suck.
kidding.
If it was like a 5-year-old versus a 6-year-old, I'd flip a coin. They're basically the same.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
could agree.
basically an argument that can be used for people who are pro-life versus like the pro-life, pro-choice narrative, because it's like, well, if you say the 5-year-old, then what about the embryos? Because those are supposed to be,
Because they don't have souls. They don't have consciousness.
I don't give a shit about soul, but they are physically unable to comprehend anything. They don't even have pain sensors, so I don't give a fuck.
They're not
Also, if
currently
he's-
alive.
Yeah, I don't care. That's not my metric. I don't
Yeah.
care about it being alive.
Yeah, that's not your metric. Yeah. For many
It's
people.
basically
who don't-
basically so that you can trick them
For
You
many
know,
people who
if
don't
if
care.
I
into
if
being
I
hypocritical.
cut my finger, what comes out of me is briefly alive, but that doesn't mean I start going, no, I should put the blood on dialysis. It should live. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think people are talking about saving, microscopic organisms and some shit like that. But
I mean, effectively, they are.
oh, you're talking about
that-
the ones with the embryos. No, I'm talking.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I make a
That
separate-
was my
Right.
point regarding the pro-life thing Vixie was saying.
Right.
Like I honestly, so in terms of like the law, I would say, yeah, it probably after like 6 to 7 months, probably best to not make it legal for people to abort then. But like I don't actually have a moral issue with it. I just think that making it too easy may cause problems in like a social sense.
Took me a while, but I found a second pig.
I believe it should be legal because it's a medical procedure.
Oh, I see. Now I
At
get
the end of
two
the day-
pigs.
Wait, sorry. If we're onto like the idea that say it's causing harm to the mother, then obviously, no matter how late, I don't care. But
Yeah.
I think there should be
Well,
some sort of barrier
there
to
should be
prevent
a-
people from constantly getting pregnant and aborting whenever they feel like it. It should be a decision that's important, at least. So if, say, like, one person has 3 abortions, I feel like they should be assigned a counselor or something to find out why they keep doing that.
Oh, now I found a shit ton of pigs.
well, I mean,
I don't think they should
actually,
be
if
prevented
abortion is
if they're within
illegal,
the time limit, but
it's actually been studied where abortion is legal. There also tends to be better sex education.
Well, that's correlation, not causation.
yeah.
No, but I say
Like,
tends.
very, very literally, allowing abortions does not increase the equality. In fact, I think it's pretty much the exact opposite way round.